So we're going to go on with the next pasuk, Bereshit Yud, pasuk Yud Aleph, Genesis 10, sentence 11. Min haaretz, with a mercha, from the land. So this is going to slightly be connected to what's come from before, but mostly move us forward into what's going to come afterwards. Number one, a neighboring province to the north had made a timely discovery of Nimrod's ambitions to occupy its country and establish his absolute rule there, by means of example from the land to the south, as indicated by the directional shape of the reading mark. So we're going to see that connected to all of the conquests that have come from before. The people in other lands are now starting to learn about the tactics and the expansion of Nimrod's influence. Hahi, with a tipcha. This is going to close off the thought of what we had before and impose a pause after it. Of this, number two, because of this militaristic expansion of Nimrod, the rule of power was predominant and streamlined all forms of life to fit into the militaristic machinery for aggression. It abolished any privacy or individuality, and each attempt of resistance was met with a resolute crush, thus caused a threat to the northern Mesopotamian province, as shown by the closing shape of the directional reading mark. So, this is a rather grandiose interpretation of the word "of this." And really the only way that we can imply so much from a very nondescript word is to realize the connection and the separation that the note is imposing on the word here. So we're saying that a new land, the area around this, is being influenced by what's happening around it, and the derivation of tactics is again interesting and might be historical, but I'm not sure how the tzipcha implies all of this meaning that we've gleaned here.
I mean, it's on the one hand it's a fair question, but on the flip side, if you think about it from the residents of the north in Ashur, right, it makes sense. In other words, everything to the south, they used to have all these independent neighbors. Now all of a sudden, out rises one despot who is
swallowing everything.
Yeah, and we're next, right? So what do we do? I guess if you can't beat them, join them, so to speak. Let's just do the same thing and let's strengthen ourselves, so he won't mess with us, so he won't look to take us over. So they're following the same sets of tactics and so on for self-protection, for self-preservation.
Where are you getting that? Where does it say that?
Well, that's the question of why hahi of this means with a tipcha is such a dense thing. Yatsa went out, number three, with the munach. This is going to separate itself out from what was before and move forward into what's going to go afterwards. In order to prevent an association with Nimrod as an ally on the north, Assyria went out from his influence to retain its own status,
so they're
as stressed by the shape of the reading mark.
You're saying.
So now somebody is trying to stand up to him. They're trying to separate themselves out. So naturally we have the munach, which has that strong wall that separates itself out from what's come from before, and it's going to lead into what's going to go afterwards. Ashur, number four, with the stabilizing etnachta on it. For this purpose, Assyria had joined the sons of Shem to balance the duress and despotism from the south, as denoted by the stabilizing shape of the reading mark. So they're trying to make a stable place for themselves where they will not fall under the influence that Nimrod is now creating. Vayiven, and he built.
Nimrod's coming from the south?
Compared to Ashur, yes. Compared to Assyria.
The Tigris and Euphrates are northeast.
Assyria is even farther north.
Babylon was right in the middle between the two.
Isn't Babylon like Iraq, right?
Iraq.
Babylon.
If you go north,
Syria is west of southwest of
northwest.
It's not Syria.
Northwest.
Not Syria.
Northwest.
Syria and Assyria are not the
It's
same
not
thing.
Syria.
Sort of the southern part of Turkey, northern part of what we would call Syria now. In any case.
That's
northwest of where Babylon would be.
Northwest?
Babylon was right in the middle, right in the center of where the area they're trying to see. That's the map showed. So you have to go.
What, is by Iraq today, like around Iraq
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
Right. So Syria is south of Iraq.
Assyria.
I know, but Syria comes from Assyria.
But the Assyrian area
Is
north.
farther north.
It's interesting, the word Ashur, like Sar means like from Sarai and stuff. If they're really sticking out, standing up to Nimrod now, Ashur means, and with the Aleph, I'm going to rule myself. I'm going to be self-ruling. You're not going to rule over me, Nimrod. Like I'm saying, the word Ashur is if Ashur is saying, Ashur, I will rule. You're not going to rule me, Nimrod. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Ashur is like a captain coming out of
I will be the officer.
I will
I
rule.
need Sar. I need.
But the Aleph is part of it, like I, the first person.
It's a Shein, not a Sin. It's not Sur. It's not I'm going to go out. It's
No, but
Yeah,
not to go out. From rule, like Sarai,
Yes.
to rule. Sar, I will rule over myself, not Nimrod.
Usually Srara.
Take the map.
Srara.
Look where Iraq is. Look where Syria is.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah.
and. We're going to go on. Vayiven, and he built, number 5, with a pashta. So this is going to focuses on the word and see that influence is spreading from that point outwards. Number 5, however, Nimrod, being an experienced hunter of animals and people, acquired Assyria by a psychological warfare after Babylonia and Chaldea were captured. And he built strategic positions and fortifications on the outskirts of his land in the vicinity of the heavily populated areas, as suggested by the double directional shape of the reading marks. So we'll remember that Pashta normally sits at the end of a word, and if the syllable that is going to be accented is anything other than the last syllable, then we gain a second Pashta on the word, on the syllable that is going to have the accent. So normally the Pashta would be on the last syllable, Beit Nun, but the word is pronounced Vayiven with the accent on the Yud, so we get a second Pashta there, so we're going to get a double meaning to what's going to happen to this word because of the necessity of the Pashta being doubled here.
Or even.
Mm-hmm. So literally, we're going to see Nimrod trying to outflank what he knows Ashur is going to do. So he already knows what their strategy is going to be, and he plans a strategy that will counter it right away. Vayiven et Ninveh. Now, I think this is the first time that we see a single word with two. No, we've seen single words with two notes on them before. This is a zakef katon. This is a menach and a katon together. So this is going to separate itself out from what's come from before, and then it's going to have a double meaning or interpretation to what's going to happen because of the katon part of it as well.
Is that Ninveh?
With
Is not
Ninveh, sorry, it is a zakef katon. Number 6, with Ninveh, the large city, as we see in Yonah, Ninveh, Hir Ha'ir Hagdolah, it is the large city, positioned on the banks of the Tigris. Nimrod was in control of a key position on the commercial tract leading to Canaan and Egypt, as pointed out by the bipartite shape of the reading mark. So Ninveh is going to be this place that's going to be even bigger than things from before. It's going to be separate from everything else because of its size. It's going to be an area of influence. It can stand by itself, and it's going to be between here and there. So it's going to have this double meaning because it's a place that's on the major trade route between two other major centers. Yet Rechovot, and with Rechovot, with a mercha, so it's going to be lightly connected to what's come from before, but mostly move us forward into what's going to go afterwards. Number 7, considering the topography east of Ninveh and its potential military importance, Nimrod made there a bastion and with Rechovot, Gargamela, Arbela, a wide name. So Rachav means wide. So a wide name. He built up his army to repel attacks and prepare offensives, widening the city and its installations as expressed by the directional shape of the reading mark. So he's going to expand the city, make it wider. Ir, a city with a tipcha. This is going to close the thought and impose a pause after itself. In order to prevent any possible attacks on Nineveh from the south, Nimrod built a city on the Tigris there as a repelling buffer zone, as specified by the closing shape of the directional reading mark. So literally what he's doing is he's building defenses around Nineveh. He's building a city on one side and another city or another garrison on the other side, so that Nineveh in and of itself is protected from both directions.
What's his ear? I don't get it. It's just a little.
So it's a city that has no name to it, and the question becomes, why does it not get a name?
How do we know it's not Rehovot? There is Rehovot here.
So he's saying that so this Perush in and of itself tells you that if a particular word has a note, then it is an entire paragraph in and of itself. It is not just a word.
Right.
So Rehovot has to be a separate place, just like Ir has to be a separate place.
But it,
so
Ir
is
the ear.
So
There's no.
But perhaps it had no significance for itself beyond its.
But even grammatically, it says the
So,
Ed Kala. The Ed Rehovot, the ear, even if there's no name, the Ed Kala. It's weird.
But God Baruch wrote here.
Yeah, I know. That's in your father.
So again, what we're saying is it's probably something as significant as Rechovot, but probably not having any permanence or any lasting characteristics that influence the area around it. So we've already got the characteristic of widening out the defenses of Nineveh with Rehovot, so Ir doesn't have anything else that it's adding, other than the fact that it is a place that is occupied.
But let's say, okay, I know
and it probably is something that is very temporary until this battle is won, and then it just doesn't stay established.
Now, if it was, you say
Like
every
you
note
said,
has
a
a word.
garrison, it's just the front, the fort.
But let's say it was
Exactly.
Rehovot ear. So it would just not have a note, and then we could say that Rehovot was a
Correct. So if Rehovot Ir was one phrase that had to be interpreted singly, then there would only be one note on Rehovot Ir.
It would be on ear or Rehovot or
Grammar would usually say that it would have to be on ear.
right.
But
Rehovot,
you can
how would
you can so
sing ear? You would just say it. There wouldn't be a note under it. Or ear bet kala. No, you couldn't go with bet kala. And what's Gagumel and Arbella? I missed that. What is that?
Not sure.
Those are names.
We can look that up.
Rehovot?
Yeah. Where's
What is it? Goggle Mogul.
Well, Google it. Yeah.
Google Mogul it.
Gargamella is.
A Goggle Mogul. You know what a Goggle Mogul is?
Excuse me, Gogomel isn't that a name used in Ghost Stuff?
Isn't it? But a Goggle Mogul. A Goggle Mogul.
I have a recollection of work with it.
so we
It's a place. Irbil, right?
Irbil, sure. And they call it Arbella,
Irbil.
Irbil?
which is a
so
place
that's
in Iraq.
in Iraq. So
It is?
that's
It's
been in the
that's
news
what it is.
lately. Yes. So.
Battle of Gargamella. It's
Yeah,
also
not
Arbella.
over Iraq.
and
What's
it's
Gargamella? Is
Arbella.
also Arbella?
Gargamella is Arbella.
Do either of those in any language mean wide or expansive, or that would be the question.
Gargamella is the
Gargamella is
megalomaniac.
Gogomagog, right?
Megalomaniac.
It's Greek. It's a Greek word. Gargamella.
All right, we'll continue, and we can try and add something to this when we come back for the next one. Viet Kalach, and with Kalach, with the stabilizing sof pasuk to it, Number 9, taking into consideration the layout of streets in relation to military positions, Nimrod built a fortress, and with Kalach he made a favorite residence for his kings due to the picturesque landscape. This city also carried the name Nimrod.
What city? What Kalach was Nimrod?
Kalach. So maybe we're gonna pause for a second.